Today's question is about the wives of Prophet Muhammad. Why did he have more than one wife? Khadija, the Prophet's first wife. Their marriage lasted 25 years until her passing. It was only after her death that Muhammad took other wives. The fate of the vast majority of women in Arabia was in the hands of tribal customs. Widows, divorcees, and slaves had very little support and were not seen as desirable. But the Prophet showed great care towards the marginalized by choosing to only marry such women after his long marriage to his first wife. When it comes to the Prophet's marriage to Aisha, while there is no agreement among scholars on her age, some have pointed to a source putting her age of marriage as 9. Based on corroboration of multiple sources, a growing number of scholars have arrived at more realistic estimates of her being between 15 and 19 years old.